and I feel outstanding. How do you guys feel?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah. Very good. Very good.
Not too shabby.
Although I swore that I left my wallet at her house last night. I'm like, fuck.
Oh no.
But I found it. I'm like, ooh, I left my hat there. I'll buy another hat.
Yeah, I'll get you.
Yeah, exactly. As Nick sets up there, I'm super excited about this person we're about to interview today and this location. I mean, especially if you're in the paranormal community, this location is one of the most infamous places on the map, I think, period. I don't think there's one person within the community was like, if you ask, who's Bobby Mackey or where is Bobby Mackey's, well, they're going to be like, you're crazy. I mean, that's the spot.
Absolutely, man. Like, this is one of the places that every paranormal investigator has on their bucket list for sure.
Yes.
Hands down. And you're absolutely right, man. The place is iconic. I mean, not just for the location itself, but the owner of the location, Bobby Mackey himself. Just phenomenal stuff. So I'm really looking forward to getting an opportunity to talk with him today.
And everybody I've ever talked to in the game is always like, oh, Bobby Mackey's is like a badge of honor. Like, if you're a paranormal investigator and you've done Bobby Mackey's, that's like Special Forces, Navy SEAL type stuff.
Dude, absolutely. I would agree. It's just crazy.
Now, I've never actually been to Bobby Mackey's. Have you?
Nope.
No, not yet.
I definitely would love to. And every time I've been in Kentucky, it's like, man, I just need to go up. Was it in Wilder, Kentucky? Is it in Wilder? I believe.
Yeah, that's right.
I've always wanted to head up that direction, just never have for whatever reason.
Yeah.
We need to do a Nick Groff tour, G Crew tour, and go.
G Crew tour. Yeah.
Yes.
I like G Crew tour. But
go hang out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, boys, let's, while Nick continues getting ready, we're just going to go ahead and manifest and foresee, a few years from now, we're going to have a G Crew bus.
Oh, God, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let's
And
do
then
that.
take a tour, and we'll take this podcast tour on the road and do these talks on the road. I see it, boys.
Let me see here.
Yeah, so people at home listening to
I see
this,
Nick.
We are all in our different locations, obviously, and Nick is at Bobby Mackey's, apparently doing a sound check of sorts.
He's jumping around on the stage and stuff, it looks like.
Yeah, so I guess technically we're in Bobby Mackey's, but not.
Right. Yeah, I'm still sitting here like in Malvern Manor, just bored.
So what, so what if the spirits there could somehow, through the equipment, somehow come through and fuck with us?
That could be amazing.
Man, I swear that happened with Zaphis. Because like right after that conversation, 3 different times my phone called somebody.
Yeah, dude,
by
that's
itself.
weird. That was so weird.
And one of them,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
it called my ex-wife on FaceTime, and she answered, and I just had my phone sitting on the sink, like up against it, and it like I'm coming out of the shower, and I look, and her face is staring at me on my phone. I'm like, hey, this is awkward. Pretty sure she.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Pretty sure she thought I was coming on to her.
Dude, that's
100%.
Wow, 3 times though?
3 times, and it hasn't done it since.
Which is the conversation they had in Zaphis's talk about, his friend getting hit 3 times.
Whoa.
The phone calls. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember that. That's kind of
wow.
messed up.
Yeah.
Hauser, they're gunning for you,
Yeah.
bro. That's what it is. They're gunning for you.
No. Gun for
That is
somebody else.
interesting, though, right?
Yeah, I never even put that together. Wow, that's pretty cool.
Dang.
See what happens here on G Crew?
It's scary.
And the first, it called Nick.
Yeah.
Was the
Yeah.
first one. Huh.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Oh,
Oh,
there we go.
hey, buddy.
Good, man. Good.
What's happening? So we are at Bobby Mackey's right now in Wilder, Kentucky, and We were just setting up. You're getting your guitar tuned up a little bit. Maybe
Yeah.
he'll play something for us. So I'm excited about this
Yeah,
experience right now.
it's so cold in here, it wouldn't hardly tune up.
It is. It's a little chilly in here, but it's nice to be inside this location. You know, not just investigating it. You know, every time I
Yeah.
come in here, I'm looking for ghosts or paranormal or some sort of activity.
Well.
But it's nice to come in here and just
Well,
hang out with you for once.
It's nice to have you back in Wilder, Kentucky,
Thank you. I appreciate it.
better known as America's Honky Tonk, or you might call it America's Paranormal Honky Tonk.
It's something. You know what's wild? I was just thinking about it. So I flew in this morning. I got up at 5 a.m. I'm flying in, and as I was on the airplane, I was thinking about how many times I've actually been here. Because I posted a picture. I'm like, I'm going to Bobby Mackey's, and I do truly love this location.
Oh, man, we got a lot of great Twitter fans, don't we?
Oh, we do. And it's, why are you going back? Why are you going back again? What's happening?
Oh,
The
they
world's
just go
ending.
crazy. They go
Everyone
crazy.
run. It's like every time I mention that I'm coming back to this location, it's almost like the flu out there in the public right now. It's like a virus. It's everyone run for the hills. Nick's going back to Bobby Mackey's. Call the news stations. You know, that's how it goes.
But the ghosts love me here, because I've been here almost 42 years. So the ghosts love me, and I'm protecting you. You know that, don't you?
I do. Yeah. That's
So
why I've
we-
been coming here for a
So
decade.
we got to tell our Twitter fans that that's why you're coming back, because I got your back.
I know you do, and vice versa, man, vice versa. Now, honestly, I've been here, I think about 8 times now, and every time I come back, it's something different for me. I take away some personal experience or just this moment right now, or the music that I'm listening to. It's not always about the paranormal or something happening or you know, gloom and doom. It's mostly about the experience, about life, the journey, and kind of coming into this element of not understanding way back when I came here in 2008. That was my first time. I was young. You know, I didn't know what was happening. I was going to the bathroom back there in that haunted bathroom over there, and the whole bathroom started shaking. I thought the building was going to collapse. That scared me so bad, worse than anything.
I was very young when I opened this club, and I didn't know what I had in store for me.
Yeah, so let's talk about how you first found this location, or what made you say one day I'm gonna buy this location. You were just a little boy, right, when you first knew that?
Well, I wasn't. I was a teenager, right out of high school, and I was working on the railroad. I come down here from Lewis County, Kentucky, which is an hour and a half drive from here, and I come down here out of high school and went to work on the railroad, and the railroad bus. I stayed in Covington, but the railroad yards was in Silver Grove, and the railroad bus would go right by here. So I'd just catch the railroad bus and come by here, and I'd see this place, and it had a bunch of lights outside. They had bingo back then here, a bunch of lights outside, and I was fascinated with this place. Every time I come by it, it would be all lit up. Well, little did I never ever thought that I would end up owning the place, but it was a coincidence that I knew exactly this location. Well, I was playing other nightclubs. I played places over north of Cincinnati, and some people over here got to coming over to the club where I was playing, and they became great friends. And they kept talking to me, and you got to get over in northern Kentucky. There's nothing over there. You got to get a club over there.
Yeah.
And so they picked out. They lived right out the pike here, right out from here.
Yeah.
They lived here, so they knew all about this place and everything. But it was an old gambling casino back in the day.
Right. This location was a casino back then.
It was the Latin Quarter. It was a gambling casino.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it became the Latin Quarter in 1948, but it was closed down. But when they had the bingo in the mid '60s, when I was working on the railroad, when they had the bingo, they finally busted that up and shut the place down.
Yeah, because Cincinnati mob was pretty, big back then. Newport was a big.
All of that.
Yeah. All right. So we don't know necessarily what actually went down in here, or what was being controlled.
There ain't no way to tell.
It's mysterious. Well, that's the great thing about this location. It's very mysterious. There's so many layers to it. It was once a slaughterhouse, or the foundation of this building was a slaughterhouse in a sense.
The site was.
Right. The site was,
And
then the building was after.
then they built. There was a well which ends up it's in the basement now, but there was this well where they drained the blood from the slaughterhouse through a tunnel under the railroad track into the Licking River.
Yeah.
Well, when that was back in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Well, but when they built the building over this, they built it over top of that well.
Right.
They built a floor over top of the well, and of course, it's a big building and an old building, and I guess it was perfect for what I do. I've been here almost 42 years, and it's perfect for me.
I've been here on a Friday and a Saturday night. I actually sang karaoke right there one night. Got up on stage with you, I think, one time. I mean, this place has happened. I danced on this dance floor that we're walking on.
And we stayed here really late one night.
We did. And I have lived here for 3 days. I slept here, I lived here, I ate here for 3 days, and it was an experience.
You were here when we had a big mudslide across the road.
So
that hill.
The first mudslide was 2008 when I was here, right?
Yeah, right.
That was the first time I thought we were going to die. I seriously did. And then when I was coming back years later,
we had another big one.
Mudslide on the same time I was
Last
coming
year
back.
we had another big one.
I bring the mudslides. That's what I do. Not the drink,
the state-
but the environmental mudslides.
The state has done great. They've shaved it all off, and they got it looking good.
It looks good, yeah. It looks
Until
really
it gets
good.
wet and saturated, and it'll probably come down again.
It's an old location, a lot of history, very rich in history, but also infamous for what it's known for. Not just the paranormal, the music, It's an iconic international location now, which I love. I really love that about this place. There's something about it.
You couple the history of the place and the history of myself being here all this time, and it's just magic. It just works.
Absolutely, it is. It definitely has some sort of energy about it. Up here, I feel like it's positive, it's mysterious, it's a little interesting. When you're just sitting here looking around by yourself, or when I was sleeping in here, I'd wake up and I'd just be like, "Huh, it's weird." You think you see shadows or weird things, but that's me.
You slept over top of the well one night.
I did, yeah. Well, everyone's like, "Oh, it's the portal to hell. Watch out!" I obviously where that comes from, ghost adventures and stuff. Way back when we were immature, we didn't know what was going on, and it kind of got that reputation for that. So I'm like, all right, let's really see how crazy this is. So I put a hammock up and I slept over the well. I mean, if you ever see Paranormal Lockdown, watch it. I really think we did a really good job on the legends, the stories, everything that was kind of, escalated in a sense, and we brought it back down to, the history, the richness of this location, and really pulled back the layers. And I felt like we got to some interesting, and we captured that anomaly. Remember that weird energy form?
Yeah, it was like
in the basement.
Yeah, it was like a crystal ball or something moving around.
It's
just
weird.
Moving. It didn't go in one direction. It went in
8 minutes.
all
it formed
directions.
for 8 minutes on camera.
I saw that, and I got chills when I saw that.
Yeah, because that was, you've been here for a long time, and people are always telling you stuff and this and that, but I think you told me that was something that really opened up your mind a little bit more to say, okay, this is a little weird, right?
Yeah, it did, but it's still hard for me to buy into it.
Sure.
It really is hard for me to do that. I'm a realist,
Right.
But all the people that come here from everywhere. We had some folks here Saturday night that partied with us from Texas, and then they had an overnight on Sunday night. They were here to investigate, and they did Sunday night, but they were in here Saturday night. Just great people, but they're just into the paranormal, But
Texas knows how to party. We love our Texas people.
But back to the couple that lured me over here, and Gene and Norman Stamper, and I probably never would have taken that step without their support and without their help and without their encouragement, and so we came in here. They called me one day, and they had somebody with the key to this place, and they called me to come. Well, Beulah, there was a lady named Beulah had the key. She had run a bar here a few years before, and she had the key. So they called me and said, "Can you come down here? I want to show you this." And Beulah unlocked the door. And Beulah has brought me a cake every year on the anniversary.
Really? Oh, that's amazing.
The lady that unlocked the door and showed this place to me and Gene and Norman.
And it was recent too. The anniversary of the location of you being here was recent, right?
In September, this past September.
Yep, September. So
we're somewhere in the middle now. So that was our 41st anniversary. So we're looking at 42.
42 years going on. You've been here.
Yeah, but on top of that, this year is my 50th year in the music business.
That's crazy.
So
and you had a #1 hit song come out recently too.
Yeah, well, I've had 3 of them in the past couple of years.
My bad. I need to catch up here. I need to catch up.
America's Honky Tonk.
I know.
It's a song I
saw
wrote, and it was number one a couple of months ago.
That's amazing. If you haven't heard his song, definitely go and listen to it. Download it.
It's on YouTube and all that. It's,
go get it.
There was, Merle Haggard was my all-time favorite singer. Just my hero, Merle Haggard, and after he passed away, I was just couldn't believe that the Hag was gone.
Yeah.
And so I wrote this song. Song about I got the Merle Haggard blues, and it went #1 for me.
Man, you have story after story to tell, but not only that, you're an artist. Creatively, you're an artist who can write his songs, play his songs, sing, and you're just withstanding the time. And there was a story you told me. So after you found out that you wanted to get it, and you were talking about coming here, and she had the keys to let you in, and you told me a story once where you were driving around back and you saw this door right over here, right, open?
Yeah, after I'd been here and seen the place, I come back later to just drive around, and because I was really thinking real heavy about getting this place. So
yeah.
It was available and I wanted to get it. After I come in here, I kind of just had to have it.
Yeah.
But I come down and drove around it, and that door right there kind of just danced open as I was coming around. There's a driveway around the back of the building, and that door just kind of danced open. And because I didn't think I could get in here,
right.
Because it was locked up.
Yeah.
And that door kind of danced open, and I stopped and went up the steps. I thought there's somebody in here, and it was dark. There wasn't no lights on, and I come up here and I had flashes in my head, of walking up on this stage, and I could just see this whole club just alive.
Yeah.
Just like it is every Saturday night anyway.
Yeah, you
now,
envisioned it. You saw it.
I saw that.
Right.
And I had to see that in my head before I could even, after that, I was really convinced I had to have this place.
Yeah, because you're passionate about what you believe in or what you envision, or creatively as an artist, you see it before you do it. I get that, yeah.
Music has changed a lot.
Yeah,
it's bro country now. It ain't my kind of country.
Right.
And I don't fit on many radio stations, but I've got a lot of stations out there that do play the classic country, and they play my music.
Oh, yeah.
And I've got a inroad with all them, and it's a good network for me to still keep my music out there. Of course, we got the social media, which is another thing.
Yeah, you're on Twitter. I see you on Twitter posting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Times have changed. Even the decade of me coming here, over and over again, things have changed. And every time I come back here, it's a new experience. And I feel like it just evolves me as a person, in general. Even us sitting down like this and just talking, communicating. I mean, that's kind of like what we're doing here. It's just bringing people of all walks of life together, backgrounds, music, film, TV. It doesn't really matter unless you have some great story of you lived a life. You have great things to talk about. That's really what this is about. I remember the story you told me, though, going back to you seeing this door open, you came in here and you're standing up here and you saw a woman walk over there, right? And you're a logical, let's clarify, you're a logical thinker.
Yeah.
You're not looking for the panel, you're not coming here for
I kind of
that.
left that out, but there was a big mirror back in the back of the room.
Yeah.
And I walked back that way, and I saw like a reflection in that mirror, and I thought I saw somebody walk that way, and I called to them, and nobody answered, nobody turned around. It just went right on through that mirror.
Yeah.
But I didn't give that much credence until 10 years later, when all this started coming out and the book was being written and all this started coming out. I thought back to that, and I wonder. you know.
Yeah, I mean, you never know.
No,
we
no,
live
you
in a
don't.
mysterious world. The universe is vast, and we don't have all the answers. You know, all we're doing is living, doing what we love to do. You love music. You're playing music here every Friday, Saturday night. I love weird stuff, so I'm exploring exploring the world for that. But I think that's what kind of brings us together on these like interesting connections, or when our paths cross. They cross for certain reasons, I believe, and our path definitely cross.
Yeah, many times.
For the friendship, I feel like, I don't know, I've always looked up to you. I feel like the friendship was always there, but it crossed because I've learned so much from you at the same time to help me grow. And I love
good.
learning from people, you know? It only makes me human to want to evolve and want to do better in life and be positive, because there's a lot of negative stuff and it feels right, you know? So
Well, you know, the whole 42 years has felt right. Like, you know, there was nothing else I wanted to do, and you know, and it just kept working, and and it still does. But one thing, you know, I'm still the old school country. I do the old country music, and there's a whole lot of people that want to hear it and don't know where to find it, but they do around here because we're built in. We're legendary here. So I look out from the red circle there. See the red circle?
yeah, oh yeah, that's your spot.
When I hit the stage on Friday and Saturday night, these, you know, there are people here and they know what they're going to hear. You know, they know it's going to be country, and they're here for that reason. And I'm so grateful that they just keep coming back.
And you have people from all over the world now coming here.
Oh yeah, yeah, from everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
It's interesting, guys. I wish you could be here right now and just, I don't know, feel the energy in here, you know?
Hey Nick, you wouldn't believe when it's like on people's bucket list that they've heard about it and seen this on Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff, and they come here from all over, and they come up and introduce themselves, and you know what song they want to hear?
Johanna.
Johanna. That's what they want to hear.
That's your tune. And we'll get to that song soon. You haven't been here, right, Johnny?
I never have. I actually really want to go check it out. And the one time I was going to go, a buddy of mine was actually playing that weekend, Wade Jennings, which is Waylon's grandson.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's during a Nick Groff tour. So, but I want to know if we're going to get Nick on El Turbo, the mechanical bull today.
Oh, we got a new one. We got a new bull.
Yeah, they had to upgrade their bull because I did ride it before. It's a funny story. I did ride it before, and I think Matt Coates was operating. My good friend Matt, one of my best buddies. He's around here. He's lurking back there in the shadows. He's off camera here, but he's here. And he was operating, and I remember Matt or him and I were like, oh, I'm going to get you a bull. And I just tightened up the rope around my hand where I could not let go, and he was trying to throw me. I think my hand started bleeding because I was just like holding on so tight. So they had to upgrade their bull and make it faster because, you know.
Well, you know, since Urban Cowboy days, when I got the first bull back in 1979, got the first bull, and we wore out, this has got to be the 7th or maybe 8th bull. I've lost count. But I know it's at least the 7th bull we've had since 1979.
Wow. Have you ever gotten on the bull?
Well, you know, not for very long. Not for very long.
Not since last Friday?
Back years ago, right after, you know.
Couple of drinks or something?
Well, we had a Christmas party one time, and they all run me down, and I didn't have no choice. They put me up on there, but I had a plan. As soon as they turned it on, I bailed off.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, Johnny, you got to come down. We're going to have to, I say we all get together and do a podcast right from here one time. We'll bring the G crew up in here. What do you think, Josh?
Haunted place, good people, good drinks. I'm in.
Saying no, I'd never been there, and it's always been, because Bobby was talking about bucket list places, and it's always been a bucket list place for me, because I remember, and it's actually probably one of the biggest places for me that stands out, when I was inspired watching Nick and the other guys on Ghost Adventures, and you know, when they went to Bobby Mackey's, it was like a big deal. And I mean, I followed you on that journey even before we knew each other, Nick, for a long time, and what that place meant to you, and so I'm extremely excited to go back, or to go at some point, point and experience it for myself. But I mean, I've always heard about it, and I think a G Crew performance there would be in order at some point.
Yeah, could we come back and do a whole performance? We'll make it a weekend thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it would be fun. It'd be fun. You do some singing.
Yeah.
We'll do the podcast right from here.
You'll sing with us, right? You'll sing with us.
Yeah, I'll sing with you guys. Yeah, absolutely.
What, House of Rising Sun? Is that it?
Yeah, I would
All
love
right.
to sing that. Yeah, I actually want to. I want a remake. I wrote a couple years ago. I rewrote House of the Rising Sun song, and I think I forget how it goes, how I wrote it, but it was like there is a house in New Orleans, but I changed it to Wilder, Kentucky.
Yeah.
Bobby Mackey. Yeah, I reworded it a little bit and changed up the lyrics to specify my experience here. So, yeah, absolutely. We'll have to come here and do that. Josh, what about you, man? Since you own Malvern Manor, or you're part owners in Malvern Manor, right, Josh?
Yeah, that's correct.
So he owns one of the locations, Malvern Manor, down there in Iowa, and it's an amazing location. I filmed there for Paranormal Lockdown. What about you? You've never been to Bobby Mackey's either, huh?
Not yet, man. I'm itching to go. That's what it is, you know.
Well, I can see a party coming on.
We got to do that, man. We got to do that.
These guys are trouble, though. You get us all together, some drinks.
It's not that bad.
It's wild. See that little alien guy behind him? He comes alive
yeah,
after a
yeah,
couple
yeah.
of drinks.
Yeah.
He dances around.
Yeah.
We'll have our buddy Matt Coates here. He'll be dancing right with us. He likes to do the warm when you get him a couple of drinks on the dance floor. He does the warm.
I don't do the warm.
Yeah, he does the warm.
Nathan Ziegler does warm.
We love Matt. Matt's our guy here. I'm telling you, we couldn't do without
Yeah.
Matt.
Yeah, no, he's a good guy. I mean, every time I come here, there's something interesting that we can talk about. You know, we could literally talk all day long about music, about hauntings, about world, life, wherever we're going. And I think that's the great thing about coming here. It's that energy. It just has energy. And everybody differently.
Yeah.
That everybody who comes here has a different experience.
It has
right?
it has a life of its own.
It does. So any other things that you can tell me through your life, you know, that you've been here, that you can share some experiences that you've had, whatever, anything in your life?
You know, I don't dwell on it too much, but there have been some things along the way that I thought, wow, you know, I was in here one night. I had to come down here on a Sunday. We're not open on Sunday. After a Saturday night, I had to come back here for some reason on a Sunday, and I come in and I was checking out a game that was faced away from the bar.
Yeah.
And I was checking this game out, and I heard this noise, this growling, god-awful sound. It sounded like cats are fighting, you know, just like squalling and stuff. Man, my hair stood up,
Yeah.
and I had a flashlight with me because all the lights weren't on.
And you were by yourself in here?
Yeah, and it sounded like it was over behind the bar. I had my back to the bar. I was facing that game,
Yeah.
and I was checking that game out because something was wrong with it. But I couldn't fix it anyway. But but anyway, I had my back to the bar, and I thought, man, my hair stood up, and I didn't know whether to run or go see what it was.
Yeah.
So I walked over toward the bar, and I stuck the flashlight over behind the bar, and I didn't see nothing. There wasn't nothing there. It sounded like growling cats fighting. That's all I can say.
Weird. That's
And
strange.
I don't know what it was. It went away when I walked over and shined the light. I didn't hear it no more.
That's weird. And you had no clue. It wasn't animals, nothing in here?
Not that I know of.
Huh. Just a bunch of screeching and
And
weird.
if it was, I'd have ran anyway.
Yeah, yeah. That's strange. I remember being in here and hearing similar things, like nothing like that, but I have heard growls in the basement. The basement is a different feeling down there. I'll be honest with you. When I go down there, I can walk in there and I'll be fine, but it's always like something's lurking down there. I know it's a basement and it's cold, it's dark, it's weird.
Lots of people want to go see it, I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, but I
Lots of
I
people
get
do.
weird feelings every time I kind of walk down there. But it's going towards the back room, what they call the room of faces. That room back there just has some weird vibe. But I almost feel it's changed for me over the decade of coming here. It's kind of in between. So it's not the well room for me, or it's not the room of faces, that middle room right there. That middle room is just off. There's something about it just feels really off. Energy, it's like you're walking into some other dimension in a weird way. I don't know. Do you ever have any, you don't hardly go down there, right? But do you ever,
No, I never do.
do you ever have any weird feelings when you go down there to the basement?
It was always cold.
Yeah,
It's always
cold. But you kind of just go down there, do what you have to do, and get out, right?
Yeah, I don't have any reason to go down there anymore. It's been a long time since I've really gone down there.
Yeah.
But I know that I hear a lot of stories when people go down there and come back.
What about the well? When was the well discovered?
Wow, it's been a long time ago, and it was real cold, and I was down here, and Carl and I went to the basement for some reason, and I don't know why, but it was really cold, and he had a flashlight. I didn't have one. And so I was kind of following him, and we go in this, what they called the China room back, because this place served Chinese food back when it was Latin Quarter. So we're in that room, and that floor is asphalt, and I don't know why that is. But we get down there, and I saw this place in the floor where it looked like somebody took a pickaxe and chopped little holes in the floor. It wasn't big holes, just like a pickaxe, and they just chopped all around there. And I got the flashlight from Carl and shined it down through those holes, and directly underneath there was the mouth of a well, bigger than this table.
Yeah.
It was a mouth of a well, and I guess they had filled that in. That was the well that they used to drain the blood from the slaughterhouse. Well, I guess when they filled it in, they probably filled it all the way to the top.
Yeah.
Well, all those years, and the dirt had dried, and the railroad track here, when trains would go by, it
would rattle it.
like it sifted the dirt,
Yeah.
and it was down about that far. So it wasn't full, it was like, but you could plainly see the mouth of the well.
Yep.
And I said, how these holes get chopped here? And Carl said, I don't know, but he had to know.
Yeah.
Because I found out later in the book that Doug Hensley wrote, in the book, it says that something possessed him there and appeared in the floor written in blood, dig here. So evidently he chopped the holes, but he didn't reveal it to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I had the privilege of meeting Carl, talking with him in depth, on camera and off camera, personally, and I really liked him.
He was
really
very
did.
innocent.
He was.
I met him, he was 18 years old. He lived with his mom and dad, the
Yeah.
closest house to this place.
Yeah.
And he grew up riding his bicycle around here and stuff, and he had stories to tell me about that.
Oh, yeah.
He did. And, but when I was in here looking the place over, making plans to get the place, Carl walked through the door. He was 18 years old. He walked through the door, come in, hi, I'm Carl. And if you need to know anything about this place, I know everything there is to know about this place.
And he did.
And he did. And he said, if you need any help, so my gosh, we put him together. We put it together and put him to work. You know, he would start, painting and cleaning, and he became the caretaker.
And then he started changing a little bit, right?
Yeah, he did.
Obviously, there was some other reasons behind that, but I think ultimately just, speaking positive on Carl and everything that happened, I think there was something weird that occurred where he just almost became obsessed with it, in a sense.
I think he did.
And
I think he did.
I can't tell because I'm not in his shoes, but I talked personally, and just looking into his eyes and hearing his stories, like you said, innocence. And he's telling, I felt he was telling what he felt was happening.
But
so.
he changed so much, and then,
Yeah.
and then any time that I needed to talk to him about something or we needed something done, every time I would talk to Carl, I'd have to talk to him just, a little period of time to figure out how to deal with him because he was always different.
Yeah, yeah. And you saw that change the more he was here, right?
Yeah, yeah. And he, and it, you know, it got to the point where for his, you know, for his sake, I had to let him go, and I just couldn't let him stay here no more.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I know. There's that, you know, the video of the priest doing the exorcism on him or doing the rites of passage. Or
Yeah.
you know, and it's kind of hard to watch. I've seen it several times, and just, I guess that's one thing that kind of fears me. A lot of people ask, you know, what scares you? Because I've slept in morgues, I've slept over wells, I've pretty much done it all over the world, where gone into the scariest locations where tons of horrific things have happened, right? I've seen some weird stuff. There's not a lot that scares me, to be honest with you, but the one thing I think kind of frightened me, and I had a little weird experience, is knowing that some sort of energy or some sort of other being, or whatever you want to call it, energy in a form is what I look at it, because I'm a logical thinker, can overtake your own psyche, your own body, mind, and spirit. Like something that we can't see, you know, like the air we breathe, can just pass through you, and if you're a weak-minded individual, or if you're innocent in a way, you don't realize, and you're feeding into that, if that can overtake yourself, that person or that individual, I kind of fear that. Because what happens if there is something, you know, like kind of like the movie The Exorcist, right? Where something can get inside somebody and overtake them. And, you know, speaking about Carl and what happened and everything, I mean, that's kind of a scary thing to think about.
And the exorcism itself.
Right.
I wasn't here. They wanted me to come down here when they was going to do that, and I refused. I didn't want no part of it.
Why didn't you want to come to that?
I just uncomfortable. I just didn't want to be here for that.
Yeah.
But I did see the tape. They videoed it, and I saw it. And the Carl that I saw reacting with the preacher that was in charge, the Carl that I saw wasn't the Carl I knew, and Carl was in no ways near an actor.
Sure.
So what I saw, I know he wasn't putting it on, because he wasn't capable. Mm-hmm. He was possessed by something, and I'm quite sure that he was.
Did you see anything else weird after that instance happened, obviously with Carl? And I truly do like Carl. I nothing but positive
he was
about
meek.
Carl.
He was meek. He was such a good kid, you know.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and I want to remember him as that. I want to remember Carl as the person that I sat across the table, like you and I speaking right now. Carl was like, "Yeah, Nick." He would talk. He was so interesting. He would talk to me about like.
He wasn't really outgoing, but he'd smile.
He's animated, yeah.
And he had a personality about him.
Yeah. That's the Carl I want to remember.
And I miss him. I miss Carl. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
He was a good person.
Too.
But Carl was his own worst enemy.
Yeah, I know, but I think that's what happens with a lot of people, and that's the part about, you know, us talking with certain people, is always remembering that you have to appreciate life right now for whoever you are, what you're going through. Everybody has their own individual journeys, and everybody has their own challenges, but it's how you make the best of it, how you succeed in doing that, setting goals up for yourself, not letting the negative or the other depression or whatever the other factors of life kind of takes a hold of your own to bring you down, or let those, whatever that is, let that overtake your own body, mind, spirit.
My love for the music.
Keeps you going.
My love for the music kept me from dwelling on any of that. And I let all that go, you know, and it's been a powerful thing. Yeah. And I didn't start it, and I sure can't stop it, you know, but it's been a powerful thing here. But I look over it, and I don't let it bother me. I don't dwell on it. You know, it's me, my music, and the relationship with the people that come here.
Absolutely. That's how I've been trying to live my life since, you know, I've gone on to do other projects, other things. Like, I just want to appreciate every second that I'm breathing, living. I want to throw a ripple effect of good, positive energy back into this universe. So when it's my time to go, it's there, you know? That's how I want to be remembered in that sense, just like you.
Yeah.
And I think it's a smart thing to do, because once you start dwelling into that negative or that lingering dread or that dark cloud over your head, I did that once when I came here, you know, and I said I'd never come back because I was in a bad part of my life. I was having other things happen to me in my life, personally, and other things, other people around me that felt
But
negative.
I always knew you'd come back.
I had to come back.
I always knew you would.
I had to. I had to face my own, not my own fears, but I had to face stuff. I had to tell the story right. I had to come back for my own sake. And that's why I have come back 8 more times, because I challenged myself to do those things to evolve as a human, to be positive, not fear things or keep that dread just lingering over my head. Like, that's how you have to face things sometimes to move forward in life. Or else you let it take over and ruin and wreak havoc on your life. Your outlet is music. My outlet is going to work out at a gym or something and playing some music and letting loose, Or just getting together with these guys, the G crew, and just talking about some crazy shit. You never know what it's going to be.
And I think it's interesting for me being at the Axe House and Josh, Malvern Manor. I know first when I started at the Axe House, I become obsessed with it. Like, it was all I thought about, all I did. And as I've been there about 15 years now, and I love what you said with, I didn't start it and I'm not going to stop it. Like, I'm just here doing my thing. Leave me alone. And
that's exactly it.
Right.
I have a question. I wanted to know, Bobby, when you initially started playing guitar, like how old you were when you started playing guitar, and what was the inspiration for you picking up the guitar?
Hank Williams Sr.
Yeah.
I was 8 years old when I started playing guitar, but my mom taught me to sing when I was big enough to talk. And I fell in love with Hank Williams. When I was about 4 years old, that I remember when I heard Hank Williams sing, and my life was changed forever. Forever. When I heard Hank Williams sing. And then, I sang in the talent contest and sang Your Cheating Heart, Hank Williams song, and I won first prize, $5 bill.
That was it.
I was hooked.
working musician at that point.
That's right.
Yeah, that was it. Then I got a Roy Rogers guitar when I was 8 years old. My oldest brother bought me a Roy Rogers guitar, and from Sears.
Yep.
And I still got it.
Nice.
I still got that guitar. And I learned to play it, and here I am.
What other music have you, other genres, have you just strictly stuck to your own genre, or have you?
No. My inspiration was Hank Williams Sr., so what's that say? And then in my teenage years, along came Buck Owens,
Oh yeah.
which was another big inspiration.
Yeah.
And then a few years after that came Merle Haggard and George Jones, and so that identifies what I am today, right here.
You get to hear some of that music today, right?
Well,
Yeah, you want to play a little something?
yeah,
I
heck
say-
yeah, heck yeah.
What about Johanna?
Well, I can do that.
Yeah, let's move this table.
That'd be amazing.
Requested song every
Wanna stand up?
Friday and Saturday.
We can stand up.
Well, I can do that. Every Friday and Saturday night,
Move this out of the way.
I get requests
Let
for
me get
that.
these chairs. Matt, come on up.
How's that for sound?
Let me see if we're in the shot here.
Can you hear the guitar?
Hold on 2 seconds. Let me move the camera back here.
Want me to move up closer?
No. You're good right there.
You ready?
Hold on a second. Check one. Okay. Come sit up here with you. All right, take us
back in the 30s, in the little town of Wilder, lived an old man and his lovely little daughter. They ran gambling for a living. It was the best place around. All the men would come and lay their money down. Her daddy was a jealous man, but Johanna fell in love. He kept saying the man dealt a bad hand. So deep in the night, when all the world is quiet, someone came and took her lover's life. Johanna, Johanna, where are you now? Could it be you're still here somehow. Johanna, Johanna, where are you now? Is it true you're still here somehow? Now today it's a different place, so the same with a new face, with strange mysteries hanging in the air. People in their sane minds swear they see you today. Are you looking for the love they took away? Everyone knows that you couldn't bear the pain, so you took your life in the pouring rain. You took your life in the pouring rain. Johanna, Johanna, are you really here? Looking for your lover after all these years. Johanna, Johanna, are you really here? Has your lover returned after all these years? Now some may not believe it, and I won't say it's true. Some of us have smelled your rose perfume. Johanna, Johanna, are you really here? Looking for your lover after all these years. Johanna, Johanna, are you really here? Has your lover returned after all these years? All right. Good job. Good job, Nick. Thank you, Nick.
Oh, man. There's nothing like listening to Bobby Mackey play right here in front of us, a cappella. I mean, this is a complete honor.
Authentic country music.
Authentic, refreshing from the heart, passion, storytelling, everything combined right here. All that energy right here at one of the most iconic locations in the world, Bobby Mackey's Music World. You get the opportunity, wherever you are in the world, come on down here, be a part of the environment, the music, whatever it is that you're looking for on your journey, come and experience it. Experience it while it's here.
Always great to have you here, Nick.
Thank you
Always
so
great.
much.
Thank you.
I'll see
Thank you
soon.
so
You know-
much. Thank
you know
you
I
so,
care.
so
Thank
much,
you.
Thank you,
Bobby.
guys.
Thank you, Bobby.
I'm ready
All
to
right.
drink a beer now.
Yes, sir.
You guys got to come down here and party with us. That's all there is to it.
I'm totally fine with that. I would be all about that.
How's your number one hit go? The one you just came out with?
America's.
Just give us a little something. He's going to take us away on the ending. Thanks, guys. Go for it. Hit it.
It's America's honky tonk country music that we grew up on, where you'll always hear a George Jones song. He even sang here in his day. It's America's honky tonk, where the good times go on and on. Dance to your favorite song or sing along. A place where some things never change. The world has changed a lot in these 40 years. But the more things change, the more we stay the same. Some say the place is haunted. Well, who knows? It just might be. If it's true, I hope our music is their thing. It's America's honky tonk, where the good times go on and on. Dance to your favorite song or sing along. A place where some things never change. Dance to your favorite song or sing along. A place where some things never change. Ho!
All right, thanks. Thanks,
Thank
Bobby.
you.
Good seeing you
Thank
again.
A lot of fun. Thank
All
you.
right, we are the G Crew. We're out of here.